Hi, this is Fred Jeff Smith, pastor of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. Shiloh is a traditional church with the timeless message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But that doesn't mean that we don't have something that will entice and intrigue you. We have a wonderful music ministry. We have wonderful children's ministries. We have a fabulous Christian education ministry. We're reaching out to you, inviting you to come and be a part of the Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. We want you to come and check us out. You'll be glad that you did. Shiloh is a full-fledged, 7-day-a-week, 24-hour-a-day operation for Jesus Christ.
Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church welcomes you to a time of harvest. It is our hope and prayer that the Spirit of the Lord reaches you through today's message and strengthens your walk with Christ, so that you may pass along the word and strengthen others' walk with Christ. And now we present to you a time of harvest.
There's beauty in my brokenness. I have true love instead of pain. There's freedom though you've captured me. I have joy instead of mourning. There's beauty in my brokenness. I have true love instead of pain. There's freedom though you've captured me. See, I have joy instead of mourning. And you give me joy down deep in my soul. Down deep in my soul. Down deep in my soul. And you give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul. Sing it with me. There's beauty in my brokenness. I have true love. I have true love instead of pain. Oh, there's freedom though you captured me.
There's freedom though you captured me.
I have joy.
Joy instead of mourning.
Oh, let's sing it again. There's beauty in my brokenness.
There's beauty in my brokenness.
I have true love.
I have true love instead of pain.
Oh, there's freedom though you.
There's freedom though you captured me.
Oh, I
got joy instead of mourning.
Oh, you give me joy.
Down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
You give me joy.
Down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
Next part says, I've never been so free, caught in your love for me.
He loves me.
I've never been more secure, knowing you're
So glad he loves me. Never been so free, caught in your love for me.
and I
Never been more secure, knowing your heart, Lord.
never been so free.
Never been so free, caught in your love.
I've never been more secure.
Never been more secure, knowing your heart,
Never
Lord.
been free.
Never been so free, caught in your love.
And I've never been more secure.
I've never been more secure, knowing your heart, Lord.
Joy.
Down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
Give me all of the joy.
You give me joy, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in
Oh, now
my
for just a moment, I
soul.
want you to lift your hands and give God some praise. Oh, my God is a wonderful God. He's an awesome God. Oh, and it gives me joy. It gives me unspeakable joy. Oh, so that when life hands me the ups and downs, I know that my Lord is with me. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You give me joy
down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
You give me all of the
Give me
joy.
joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
You
Give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
give me all of the joy.
Give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
One more time. Down deep in my soul. Down deep in my soul. Deep in my soul.
Give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul. Give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul. Give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul.
Amen. Let's give God a hand of praise.
All of this. They ain't helping me none. You know, if you look at the situation in life honestly, whatever you're dealing with, you are partly responsible. But the good news is that you can grow through that problem. The psalmist grew through his adversity, but the first thing he had to do was accept his share of the blame. Now the Holy Ghost told me to tell you that you can grow, but that's the first thing you need to do is look at what part you played in the mess that you're in. The next thing that I notice about the psalmist is that he was willing to change. Now, ain't no rocket science in this sermon today. It's just flat out where you live. The man was willing to change. My friend, there is no way that you can grow if you're not willing to do some changing. Let me tell you something about willingness to change. You see, willingness to change is a sign of an humble spirit. You know, it's a sign of a right attitude. Let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, it's one thing to be wrong, but it's another thing to be wrong and bigoted. Now I'm going to say it again. I'm just preaching to us where we live. See, all of us get wrong. All of us get wrong. You know, you're human. It's human to make mistakes. It's human to be wrong. But now, if you're wrong, if you mess up, if you make mistakes, there's no need of being bigoted about it. You know, I've heard a lot of us try to justify our habits by saying, well, that's just my way. You know, you ever heard anybody say that? That's just my way. I always been like that. I was like that when I was a child. Well, that's bigoted. That's bigoted. That's arrogant, you know. But we've already reminded you that it's important for you to confess that you're part of the problem. But the big question is, if you realize you're part of the problem, Do you have enough spirituality? Do you know Jesus well enough to say, Lord, I'm going to try to change. I'm going to try to do better. You know what I found out? Many of us are scared to make changes. Nobody likes to be called scared. You know, tell somebody they're scared, they try to show you why they ain't scared. It makes sense to be scared sometimes. You find somebody ain't scared of nothing, you stay. Because they're crazy. They ain't got good sense. You find somebody ain't scared of nothing, they're crazy. But many of us, you know, don't want to change because we're scared. We're scared that the crowd that you hang out with might put you down. Yeah. You're scared that you may miss something that you have become accustomed to. Now, suppose the crowd does put you down. What have you lost? You know, that crowd that you drink with. You know that crowd. All right. The crowd that you have cocktail with. If they say, well, you know, if they put you down, now what have you lost? I don't mean no harm, but that crowd you sniff, you know, somebody's. I'm not crazy. Some folk come here every Sunday and sniff that, you know, sniff and snort. And very seldom do you do it by yourself. All right. But that group you sniff and snort with, if they put you down, now what have you lost? You know, the psalmist again says, before I was afflicted, I went astray. But now I've kept thy word. Think about it. Are you willing to change? Well, the final thing I want to note here is that the psalmist put everything in the Lord's hand. In verse 71, he says, I have learned your statutes. In other words, I have a better understanding now of what you require of me. Then he says in 73 that your hands have made and fashioned me. Then he acknowledges that God could supply all his needs. We need to come to that realization, my brothers and sisters. He came to the conclusion that if I need comfort, I can find comfort in the merciful kindness of the Lord. If I need understanding, he said, I can find it in your commandments. Oh, my friends, that's the real key to spiritual growth. When you come to the place where you can put everything in the Lord's hand. You know, I noticed that some pretty outstanding men of the Bible made it by learning to put their problems in his hand. And we need to realize that. You know, when you have problems and mess up and all that kind of stuff, that's nothing unusual. Great men of the Scripture have been messing up all their lives. But they made a difference when they put everything in the Lord's hand. Elijah, everybody knows Elijah was a great man. But when you study Elijah's life, Elijah got so frustrated, so mixed up and messed up, he ran off and hid in a cave. But before he did that, he was crazy enough, he said, Lord, I want you to kill me. You did. Read the Bible. This is Elijah. This is the great Elijah who stood on the mountain and called fire down from heaven. And then wasn't a month later, he's so frustrated, he said, Lord, you ought to take my life. And went hid in a cave. And God had to come and say, Elijah, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? What are you doing here? Look at Peter. Peter had an ego problem. Peter had an ego problem. Peter was smart, he was bright, he was aggressive. He knew a lot. But Peter's problem was, and a lot of y'all got that now, a lot of us got that. See, he knew a lot because he knew a lot. He thought he knew more than he knew. He thought he knew so much that he could tell Jesus what to do. Read him. Read him. The Lord was trying to teach Peter something, and the other disciple, Peter, said, oh, no. Oh, no, Jesus. You don't know what you're talking about. What you saying gonna happen ain't gonna happen. Do you know we got people today? And you watch your prayers. Ask yourself, you know, how often do you go to God and ask God to do it? Or do you go to God and just tell God what to do? You know, take the attitude toward God, well, you know, I know what I need. I know what I need. I know it. I just can't do it. But now if you want to help me, you do what I tell you to do. You remember Paul? You remember Paul? He'd been on the road a long time. And a lot of people thought that he had gone as high as he could go. But Paul knew better. Paul put it this way. I'm about to quit. Paul put it this way, forgetting those things that are behind and reaching out unto those things which are before, I press toward the mark of the prize, the high calling. As I close today, I try to think that I, want to be like Paul. I've been on the road a long time. But I do have sense enough to know that I haven't arrived. But I like to think I'm growing. I like to think that I'm still pressing. And a lot of things have helped me to grow. I've studied hard, and hard study helps you to grow. I've had a lot of experience, and experiences help you to grow. I've had a lot of people to be kind and good to me, and that helps you to grow. But I must also confess that I've had much growth through adversity, through troubles, through problems. Now, I ain't feeling sorry for myself, but I've had some disappointments. When you work hard and do the best you can, and the results is there. People can see how the Lord has blessed your effort. You would think people would appreciate you and love you, and say nice stuff about you. And many times the very one you help will criticize you and find fault. And they're just waiting for you to make the least little bit of mistake so they can run you down. Well, I've had that happen over and over and over again. But you know what? It helps you to grow. It helps you to grow. That's how you really find out that you can't put your trust in men, but that the Lord is your way maker. Yes, I'm getting old now. That's obvious. Steps are getting shorter. Eyes are getting dim. Shoulders stooping. Been under the surgeon's knife. Spent a little time in intensive care. But the end result is that it has helped me to grow. It helps me to realize that, you see, I listen to all this TV stuff. I listen to all these 40-year-old preachers preaching all this prosperity. You know, and God is a God of prosperity. But he's more than a God of prosperity. See, now there'll come a time when you won't be worried about prosperity. You'll have prosperity and won't know what to do with it. You'll have the fine house and won't know what to do with it. You'll have the fine car, not know what to do with it. And it gives a new meaning to the hymns you sing. Be not dismayed, whatever betide, God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide, God will take care of you. It gives new meaning when you say, through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. But grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me on. As we close today, if you really want to grow, you don't need ideal conditions to grow. Look around you. And although the way may be a little dark, the load might be a little heavy, it might be the opportunity that you really need to get closer to God. Choir's going to lead us in a hymn. Deacons are coming across. The congregation is going to stand.
Be
not just because of the superhero aspect. In fact, that's almost secondary to why that movie is so important. The movie made a tremendous impact in the lives of people because it presented a picture of black people, not African Americans, black people, in a way that struck a chord with the masses of people as seeing black people as they would like to be seen, as inventors, as technologically advanced, as educators, as leaders of the world, and as preservers of a kind of community that is both affirming and uplifting and beneficial to the generations that come behind it. It struck a chord of unity, it struck a chord of hopefulness and optimism that transcended all of the supernatural aspects of the fight between the would-be leaders of the nation. And so that movie struck a chord with me, and recently it was nominated for an Oscar. I don't particularly care about award shows, but I was very happy to hear that.